Thank you for being here today. First, I just want to talk to you about what public education does. I'm a 13th generation Virginian. The first 12 generations of my kin didn't go to college because they didn't have a state-supported college higher education system or a public education system. My grandfather wasn't able to make it past 8th grade because Franklin County didn't have a high school. Neither did my grandmother. My mother was the first one in the family to go to college. She went to Longwood University and studied to be a teacher because public education was finally available at that time. I went to a public elementary school. I went to a public intermediate school. I went to a public high school. Taxpayers invested in my education at JMU, and taxpayers invested in my education as an attorney at UVA Law. I would not be here today but for the money the taxpayers have invested in my education and my ability to do what I did today. By the way, they also made it possible for me to serve as a governor's fellow to Governor L. Douglas Wilder in 1993. Just so you understand the full breadth of our system, Virginia's colleges and universities enroll 524,000 students across public and private institutions in our state. Our community college system serves approximately 144,000 students alone, which is 4 times the enrollment of either George Mason or Virginia Tech. Northern Virginia Community College has 53,000 students by itself. Our 15 four-year institutions enrolled 211,000 full-time students last year. In terms of economic impact, our public higher education system, higher, not secondary, but higher education system, has a total economic footprint of $52.4 billion in our Commonwealth. Every dollar spent on public higher education results in an additional $1.89 of state revenue and $25.59 of additional state gross domestic product. UVA alone contributes $7.2 billion in GDP and 56 million annual state tax revenues. International students, which the Trump administration is threatening, contributed $807 million to Virginia's higher education learning institutions in the 2023 to 24 academic period. And Virginia's institutions collectively received about $3 billion in tuition and fee revenue and more than $2 billion in state general funds in 2023. Okay, this is a massive system that is currently under attack by the Trump administration that our Republican colleagues in Virginia are refusing to do anything about. What's happening today in our state is the Republican Party is bowing down to their dear leader, President Trump, and refusing to do anything. I want to make clear that in Virginia, our Board of Visitors run our universities. The General Assembly controls our universities, as it said is in the Virginia Code, not President Trump and not the United States Department of Justice. We've now heard from outraged alumni, teachers, students of our number one system in America. You've heard it. CNBC, when they looked at our business rankings, says that one of the main reasons, the pillars underscoring the foundation of why we get these rankings is because of our education system. We have the #1 education system in America. Just yesterday, you heard the business community in Northern Virginia speak out. The Northern Virginia Technology Council, the Northern Virginia Chamber, the Loudoun Chamber, the Prince William Chamber all signed a letter and said, leave George Mason alone. It's a critical pillar of our economy, not just in Northern Virginia, but the entire state. George Mason, I want to just note, aside from the fact that UVA, I believe, is not number 4, but actually the #1 institution in America, public institution in America, George Mason is ranked #1 by U.S. News as being #1 for best value, for internships, and for upward mobility. So I just would ask, if you get a chance to ask a Republican, if you see one on the street, if you can find anybody that will speak on the record to you about this, I would ask them, what exactly is the purpose of attacking the best public higher education institution in the country that we have here, the crown jewel in our state? What's the point of attacking it? And what is the point of attacking the #1 school in upward social mobility in the country, the best value in the country? What exactly is the point? What's the motive? You fill in the blank, but ask that question. And I can tell you that if the Republicans aren't going to stand up to defend our system, we will. And that's why we're here today, and that's also why we're in court tomorrow. So, thank you for being here today. And with that, I'm going to turn over to my caucus chairman, I believe, Senator Mandy.